What's up, Marks? It's your boy Heyman Guy here, and I want to introduce a new video segment today called The Best of the Best, where I will take a professional wrestler and I will give you my top 5 matches of that particular performer. Now, I will not promise to do this series every week or every month, but every so often when I feel like it, I will pick a particular wrestler, or I may let you guys pick the wrestler for me, and I will give you what I believe to be the top 5 matches of that particular performer. Now today I wanted to start off with one of my favorites of all time and a true legend of the professional wrestling business.
Viva La Raza! I lie, I cheat, I steal. I lie, I cheat, I steal. Yo, mamacita, I got that passion. It's like the law, los mujeres fall in love with that Latin charm. One woman isn't enough, amigo. Siempre cogiendo.
That's right, Marks. It's the man, the legend himself, Eddie Guerrero, perhaps the greatest Hispanic performer in the history of the WWE and all of professional wrestling. And let's get into my top 5 matches of Eduardo Guerrero. Number 5 on this list would be the ladder match between Eddie Guerrero and RVD for the Intercontinental Championship in May of 2002 on Monday Night Raw. I remember this match in particular above some others because this was Eddie's first big match back since his return. About the previous year, he had been fired for his drug issues, and he'd been back at this time for maybe a month or two, and yes, he was the Intercontinental Champion, but this was his first marquee match where Eddie Guerrero could show just how good he is, and that he still had it, and that the company could trust him. Him and RVD went out there and put on a hell of a show. Some people will always remember this match simply for the fan run-in, or Eddie Guerrero decked a fan, but this match is more than that, and if you can find this match on YouTube, go out of your way to check out this ladder match between the Master of the Frog Splash and the Master of the 5-Star Frog Splash. And let's move on to number 4. Number 4 is a triple threat tag team match for the WWE Tag Team Championships featuring the champions Edge and Rey Mysterio, Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit, and the team of Eddie and Chavo Guerrero, known as Los Guerreros. This came to you from Survivor Series 2002 during the middle of the glorious SmackDown 6 era, where Paul Heyman was the lead writer of SmackDown, and gave opportunities to guys like Eddie and Chavo, like Edge and Rey, and like Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle. During that 2002 time period, anytime this combination of guys got into the ring together, they went out there and stole the show. This same thing happened at Survivor Series 2002, where Eddie and Chavo were able to recognize their dream and win the Tag Team Championships. Again, just great wrestling, exactly what you got from SmackDown during the Paul Heyman 2002 time period. And these 6, again, went out, great match, and stole the show. But let's move on to number 3 on the Eddie Guerrero top 5. For number 3 on this list, we go back to 1995, and we go to the land of the Extreme Championship Wrestling, ECW, in what would prove to be Eddie Guerrero's final ECW match, as well as Dean Malenko, where they went toe-to-toe in a best 2 out of 3 falls match. ECW, a lot of times, gets a bad rap for people say they only had the likes of a Sabu, of a Sandman, of a New Jack, who all they could do is blade and let blood go every night, which ECW did have those guys on their roster, but Paul Heyman also introduced the world to the likes of Eddie Guerrero and Dean Malenko, and in their final ECW contest, these two stole the show, and one of the best technical masterpieces I've ever seen. And it was so good that the ECW fans who would normally chant, "You sold out" at the guys who left, instead chanted, "Please don't go, please don't go." The fans in the audience were amazed by this match, and again, this is one of the best technical masterpieces I've ever seen. But with that being said, number 2 on the list is... Of course, I had to include an Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio match on here somewhere. These two had a magical chemistry with each other, and that was never more evident than the masterpiece of a match they had at Halloween Havoc in 1997. This match I consider it to be the greatest cruiserweight match of all time, and if I ever had to do a best of Rey Mysterio list, this match would be number 1 on that list for sure. Rey Mysterio did things in that match that I've not seen him do since then, things that he only trusted Eddie Guerrero enough to do them with, and Eddie This was Eddie at his heel best in WCW, just doing little things. I mean, like, this was a mask versus title match, and he's just ripping at the mask of Rey Mysterio. And it's just those little things like that. Not everyone may get the significance of the mask, but little things like that is what made Eddie Guerrero a great heel. Again, these two had a magical chemistry with each other, and this was very close to being my number one. This is a match that I love, that I could watch time after time, but there's a match that I could watch more, and that I love a bit more, and that match at number one is... Number one on my Eddie Guerrero top 5 is the night that he recognized the dream of everyone who has ever entered the world of professional wrestling, and Eddie Guerrero at No Way Out in 2004 beat the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar, for the WWE Championship. Now, I went back and forth on whether or not to have this or his Halloween Havoc match with Rey Mysterio at number one on my list. I wound up going with this one because although Eddie and Rey is probably a better wrestling match, this one is very close, but it also told such an amazing story. It's a story that we've seen Lesnar tell over and over again, most recently off the top of my head at SummerSlam against CM Punk in 2013, I want to say it was, where it's just simply the big beast dominant Brock Lesnar overpowering and dominating the little guy, but the little guy just will not give up. He keeps fighting and he keeps fighting. And a moment I remember in particular from this Eddie and Brock Lesnar match was Brock had been dominating Eddie the whole match, but Eddie had gotten in some offensive flurries to where Lesnar was either bleeding from the mouth or from the nose. And a frustrated Brock just yelled, "Just die, Eddie! Just die!" Which, that little moment, I remember it so well because I think, looking back, it tells such a great story. Brock could dominate Eddie all night. He could. But he could not put Eddie away. Eddie kept on fighting and eventually was able to conquer the beast Brock Lesnar and win the WWE Championship. And I remember being so emotional when Eddie won because I thought it was just amazing to see this guy overcome his demons, overcome his battles, and now he was at the very top of the professional wrestling world as the WWE champion of the world. Guys, thank you so much for watching my first best of the best video on Eddie Guerrero. I hope to do more of these in the future. If you guys have a particular wrestler you want me to look at and give you my top 5 of, please let me know below in the comment section. But until next time, just remember, if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Viva La Raza! I lie, I cheat, I steal. I lie, I cheat, I steal. Yo, mamacita, I got that passion that's lasting long. Los mujeres fall in love with that Latin charm. One woman isn't enough, amigo. Siempre cogiendo más mujeres porque soy latino. And I'm tougher than tough, calling your bluff, cuz I cheat, I steal. I lie, I cheat, I steal. I don't care if you don't